Welcome back. This time we're talking about Now You See Me 2, a sequel to the 2013 magic thriller, I guess you could call it. And that was a film I really enjoyed. It had a great cast, good action, and really kept you guessing from start to finish. There was a good level of tension throughout. So I was looking forward to the new one. Most of the cast is back. The lead screenwriter is back. The big change was director Louis Letter has left and has been replaced by John Chu, who gave us the Justin Bieber concert movies, as well as the second G.I. Joe movie, and last year's utter failure that was Gem and the Holograms. So I had reason to hope, and I had one big reason to be worried. And the result? Not bad, actually. I really kind of went into this one fearing the worst, and it's not as good as the first one. We can get that out of the way right away. This is not as a well-made, and the story is not as well structured as the first movie. That doesn't mean that it's not a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. Once again, they're able to keep up that solid level of tension on what exactly is going along and whose plan is actually working and who's being duped. And that was what they did really well in the first film, and they did a pretty solid job this time around. There's a couple moments, or a couple story elements in the first act that I really didn't quite understand, and there's one kind of last little twist that sort of ties those up. And sort of like the final twist in the first movie, I didn't 100% buy it, but I went with it. So, as I said, this is a pretty fun movie. As I alluded to before, the primary cast is back with the exception of Isla Fisher. We have Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Morgan Freeman, and Mark Ruffalo. The principal new character is played by Lizzy Kaplan, and she's the new horseman to replace Isla Fisher. I'll admit I wasn't a huge fan of the character. I liked the character from the first movie better. Taking nothing away from Lizzy Kaplan, she's a good actress. I just didn't find this character quite as interesting. So from a storytelling aspect, I really wish they'd given her a bit more development, because she's surrounded by characters that we already know from the first film, so she's already kind of trying to play catch up, and I don't think the script quite gave Caplan enough to really work with to get us on board with her character. The other big cast addition is Daniel Radcliffe, who plays a character I'm not really going to tell you a whole lot about, because a lot of this movie is you really don't know if they're allies or villains and just what they're doing. So I'm not going to say anything about him, but he did a good job with what he was given. It's a pretty eccentric character, a little odd, but I think it works. The issue with his character is he's introduced at a point where we have no idea what's going on, so it's kind of hard to pay attention to his character when we're still so much floundering about trying to figure out what's going on, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because you want, as in a movie like this, you really want to not know what's going on so you can figure it out as we go. And again, that tension is there, and there's a lot of twists and turns, and it makes for a solid, enjoyable movie. This is slightly over 2 hours. It really doesn't feel like it overstays its welcome, at least for me, because there's so many different twists and turns. So this is just a fun movie. It's not as good as the first one, but still enjoyable. If you're a fan of the first movie, I don't see any reason why you're not going to enjoy this one. The characters we came to like from the first one are back. It's got a great cast. The direction is it's pretty much what I would expect from a John Chu movie. Would like to know what you thought about it. If you were a fan of the first one, did you find this one enjoyable as well? You can always subscribe to my channel, check out some other reviews, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.